Welcome to another Sunday WOAY ABC4 Community Forum, where we talk to community leaders and local success stories to discuss important information that affects all of us here in Southern West Virginia. I'm your host, Brandy Lawrence, and today we're joined by another distinguished guest. Tim Naylor, who is the Executive Assistant of the Fayette County Chamber of Commerce, joins us this morning to talk everything Bridge Day coming up on October 19th. Thanks so much for coming to the forum.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we know that this is like probably one of the biggest days, if not the biggest day in West Virginia, is Bridge Day. So for the people out there, maybe we got some people traveling, seeing us today. What is Bridge Day all about? So
Bridge Day is the largest single day event in the state of West Virginia. We close the highway from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and the event runs from 9 to 3. We're going to have over 300 base jumpers, over 200 vendors, gives people the opportunity just to walk out across the New River Gorge Bridge, check out the fall foliage, the beautiful scenery, and watch those base jumpers and rappellers do their thing.
Awesome. And all of this started because one man jumped from the bridge first.
Yeah, Burton Irvin. He's from a little bit north of Summersville, I believe. August of '79, he decided that he was going to jump off the New River Gorge Bridge just to see if he could do it. And while it wasn't legal at the time, he did it anyways. Was quickly arrested when he hit the bottom, and then shortly thereafter he took it to the Fayette County Commission and the Fayette County Chamber and said that this is something that could be done. And a couple years later, Bridge Day was born.
And it's been this way ever since.
Yep.
And this is the 45th year.
It is. This is our 45th anniversary of Bridge Day.
Awesome. So do you have anything, well actually we need to talk travel advisories, because you're shutting down the whole bridge and that's probably going to work with some people's routes a little bit differently. So what do people need to know about that?
Yeah, so the homecoming for WVU is probably the biggest issue that we're facing. So they're having a home game that night, or that day, I don't know exactly what time the game is. And so the highway is going to be closed down from Fayetteville all the way to the other side of the bridge. So you can't cross the bridge from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. So if you're coming, if you're planning to go this route, you need to plan accordingly and either jump off at Fayetteville and go down Route 16 and pick up 60 at Chimney Corner, come out at Anstead, or stay on the interstate and go through Charleston and go around. It's going to add about a 45-minute trip to your time. So
make sure you plan accordingly. Also, I think we're hopefully going to keep giving frequent updates leading up to the day, so people remember that. But even though you can't forget Bridge Day, though. So, and also another big thing about Bridge Day is the parking situation. Thankfully, I got to luck out because I'm the media, so we get to go super early. But for the people that will be out there later on, what do they need to know?
Yeah, so we have shuttle parking lots. We have 4 on the south side and 2 on the north side. Those are $5, and it allows you to park at, say, your Walmart, your New River Health, the Fayetteville PK8 school, as well as the courthouse, and then on the north side at Midland Trail High School and Lighthouse Worship Center. Again, those are $5. It's super easy. You pay your $5, you hop on the bus takes you right to the gate of the event, and then you hang out at the event as long as you want. When you're done, you go back to the bus stop, make sure you get back on the bus that is going to your location, and take that bus back, and you're back at your vehicle. It's $5 round trip, saves you a whole lot of issues of parking illegally, worried about getting towed, worried about somebody hitting your car, all those things could happen. So we recommend everybody utilize one of those shuttles. Plus those shuttle stops are manned by volunteers. So at our Walmart, we have the Oak Hill High School wrestling team. At Midland Trail, we have Friends of New River Gorge. And then there's a couple churches and a couple other operations that are helping assist in those. So once we're done, those monies that we raise from those shuttle parking lots, after we pay our bus drivers and the fuel and all that stuff, any of that money left over goes to those organizations to help, with their fundraising efforts.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm actually really glad you brought that up, volunteers and things like that, because I was going to ask you, what are some other ways that people can participate or help out with Bridge Day beyond, attending?
Sure. So this year, I think we've already got everything pretty much lined out, but next year, if you want to be volunteers for Bridge Day, we're always looking for people to come and help. We have a great group of guys who help set up the Bridge Day booth, the Bridge Day tent on both sides of the bridge, and get all of our equipment and all of our retail stuff out there. And then we have people who come in to volunteer to help sell our items, And then we have guys who put up signs and take down signs, clean up trash. So there's plenty of opportunities for people to help. Again, next year, because it's super close to the event right now, and we wouldn't have time to really train somebody. But if that is something that people would want to volunteer beginning in 2025, we'd be more than happy to take that phone call.
So good to know. So you guys keep that in mind for next year, Bridge Day. You need some volunteer hours, or you just want to help out, make sure to get in touch with them. And since you also brought up the organizing of it, this is the biggest day of the year in West Virginia. What goes into the organization and the planning of such an event? And, by the time Bridge Day is over, are you all right back to planning again, or do you get a little break? Or
Yeah, pretty much. Bridge Day is October 19th. October 21st, we'll have our follow-up meeting to talk about what went right, what went wrong, what we need to do differently. And then it's really just preparing for 2025. So, I go ahead and clear all my information from 24 and build my programs that let people register for 2025. And then January 1st, we open that registration, and then our vendors are going to start rolling in again. Our base jumpers start registering in July. And, the end of the gorge tickets, they go on sale in January. So from there, it's a lot of spreadsheets, a lot of organizing, and it's really a year-round process.
Well, it seems like you all do a really great job with, pulling it off every year. It seems to go off without a hitch, but I'm sure there are some things behind the scenes that we don't know about. So what are some of the biggest challenges you all usually face with putting this together?
Really just getting to the day of. A lot of that stuff, that does go on behind the scenes includes a lot of people that, aren't on the face of it, because we have tons of volunteers. We have quite a bit of law enforcement personnel are involved, EMS involved. There's hundreds of people that are really involved in putting this event together, although it may look like there's just 3 of us in our office, but there's so much more going on behind the scenes. And fortunately, all of our law enforcement and the EMS, they've all done it for years and years and years. So, they kind of they're in a groove, we're in a groove. So outside of your normal little hiccups, most of it comes from the new vendors who've never been there before, and making sure that they know exactly how to get in line and get to where they need to be the day of. So it's a lot of communication, and as long as we're communicating, things seem to go pretty well.
That's great. And I know this is a major day, and the biggest attraction is, seeing the people jump off the bridge, of course. But how do the people below, rather, the people in the water, how do they ensure the safety of these participants?
Yeah, so we have a river rescue team. They've been doing this for a number of years. So they're on the boats in the water. If somebody hits the water, they're immediately in their little jet boat grabbing over, pulling them out of the water and taking them over to the shore. If there's any issues down below, we have a National Park Service park ranger down there, and also a park ranger up on the base platform. They communicate if for some reason we need to stop jumping, the guy on the ground lets the guy up top know, and they halt the jumping until whatever situation needs to be dealt with. Typically somebody landing in a tree, or if the boats are all full, they'll pause until they get everybody back on shore safely. So that's really key there.
Good to know. And what does Bridge Day? How does Bridge Day rather benefit our local economy? Because it's such a major event, and there are so many vendors out. How does that benefit the state and also Fayette County as a whole?
Yeah, we're bringing in anywhere from 80 to 120,000 people. Those people are staying. Fayette County has probably Airbnbs, hotels, cabin rentals, all of that's probably been sold out for at least 2 months now. We're getting phone calls every day, people looking for lodging, and we're just like, good luck. But most of the people now are staying in Beckley or Summersville, or even further out into Charleston, just to try to find a place to stay. So all those properties are gaining, that revenue from people coming to stay. Those people are eating in our restaurants, they're checking out our stores in town, partaking in other events. And then, when they come to the event, again, over 200 vendors, a lot of them are local, not all of them. We have some from out of state, but those guys those guys and girls are making money there as well. So it really brings a big boost to the entire area, as well as showcasing the state, because I don't know if you're on TikTok or Instagram or anything like that. we'll see tons of social media posts about Bridge Day, and that's just helping spread the word even more to people who may have never heard of it.
Absolutely. And what really tripped me out was when I found out that there were people coming from all over the world to do this for this one day, just kind of like to live that thrill. So where have you met people, that have come from, out of state, and like have they told you like what their story is of like, I just really wanted to jump off this bridge, or like I just really wanted to be a part of this?
Yeah, I mean, base jumping is really a tight-knit community. Our base organizer, Marcus Ellison, he's from Fayetteville. He knows just about everybody who signs up for Bridge Day. That's how tight that community is. But I've got registration from Canada, from Brazil, from Europe, France, all over the world. So there's a bunch of different base jumpers coming from all over the world. And really the opportunity to, one, base jump in a national park, which is illegal everywhere in the country except for this one day out of the year, because we do apply for and are granted a permit through the National Park Service. So it's really kind of a bucket list item, just to be able to do that. And just the whole spectacle of it, just, being able to do it in front of such a huge crowd, because base jumpers typically, they're kind of renegades. They kind of have to do it fly by night, and maybe not always legally, but there are legal places they can do it. But again, it's not somewhere where there's a whole crowd in front of you. So getting to do that and put on a show is, I think, really a big draw for a lot of those base jumpers.
Yeah, I know we definitely enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And the people that come out and base jump, they're usually like experienced base jumpers. You don't really have a lot of like newbies out doing things like that.
Yeah, you have to have at least 50 skydives. So this could be your first base jump, but you have to have at least some skills of jumping out of an airplane. Whereas a base jump, you're jumping off of a fixed structure. So that can be your first, but they do have a class that you have to take, or have a mentor who says, you're capable of doing this safely. But yeah, you can't just be, you or I couldn't go out and do it. But we do have tandem jumps, and I think there may be a couple of those left for sale, where you're actually strapped on to an experienced base jumper and get to jump with someone.
Awesome. And I also see that you all have rappellers like down under the bridge as well. So is that sort of the same thing? They have to like make sure that they're certified to do things like that as well?
The company Bridgewalk, they manage the rappellers. So I don't have a whole lot of knowledge on how they operate, but I do know, you can't just be anybody and come out and rappel. But so they do a registration and a kind of an application process to make sure that you are knowledgeable, because you're really, you're dropping about 800 foot down to the water. Some of them do climb back up, well, not maybe to the water, but to the ground. And, some of them get off at the bottom of the rope and ride the bus back up and do it again. So again, yeah, that's something that does require some experience.
Well, shout out to them, because I could never. I think just standing on the bridge and looking over and watching people jump is enough for me.
Yeah, they also offer the Bridge Day Highline, and I think it's sold out. I don't know if you've seen that yet or not. It's kind of like a zip line. Have you been on the catwalk underneath? So the catwalk, they attach a zip line to Fett Station Road. It's about a 300-foot drop, I think, but it's and it's at an angle, so it takes about 800 feet to get there. And it's controlled, so it's kind of like really slow, so you really get to enjoy the opportunity to kind of see the scenery, and you're not just zipping down as fast as you can. So that's a very cool experience. I do believe it's sold out for this year, but it's a lot of fun too.
Yes. That does seem more my speed, but I'll have to check into that for next year, and you all too. So we are about to go on to break, but do you mind plugging the website so people know where to get all this good information?
Yeah, all the information, including the travel advisory, the rules and regulations, all that can be found at www.officialbridgeday.com.
Awesome. All right, and we will be right back here to talk about everything Bridge Day coming up on October 19th, so you all stay tuned. Welcome back to Community Forum. I'm here with Tim Naylor from the Fayette County Chamber of Commerce, and we're talking about everything Bridge Day. So there are some rules and regulations involved with Bridge Day. I know that there are some things with the bags and things. I know you all sell like clear bags, but what are some things people need to know before they go?
Yeah, so if you're coming to the event, you can't ride a bicycle or a skateboard or roller skates or anything like that out on the bridge. It's just kind of dangerous with the number of people that are out there. Coming to the event, you cannot bring any kind of bag other than a clear bag, unless it's like a clutch. You can carry a clutch or a fanny pack or nothing larger than a 5x7. Otherwise, it has to be clear. And the fanny packs and such are subject to search. No pets. Service animals are welcome, but no pets. You can't just walk your dog out there. And then really that's about it. No alcohol, no drugs or anything like that, no weapons. And we do have security at each entrance of the event, making sure that those things are abided by.
Awesome. You don't need most of those things anyway. There's plenty to see.
Yeah.
So, also, speaking of plenty to see, there will be a lot of vendors at this event as well. Can you tell us a couple of them that'll be there?
Yeah, so we've got over 200 vendors. A lot of them local. Our poster contest winner, Peggy Smith Photography, she will be there selling her photography and things of that nature. Lost Appalachia, a business located in Fayetteville. He was a past poster contest winner, and that's really what started his business, was winning the poster contest and coming to Bridge Day. And so he'll be there, selling clothes, selling his shirts and stickers and things like that. Lots of food, chicken on a stick, that's one of everybody's favorites. Holio's Donuts, the root beer people that you had mentioned, they'll be there with the commemorative Bridge Day glass. And then we have just a bunch of different options of barbecue, and there's one called Mountain Juice, which is kind of new this year. They're doing more of a healthy food option. So you go out there and you see a lot of the deep fried stuff and a lot of the baked goods and things like that. She's doing like the vegan options and kind of some healthy food. So I'm kind of excited to see what she has to bring.
Yeah, that'll be really nice.
Yeah.
And I think some of our vegans and our health conscious people will feel more included, and maybe even some of those people jumping, because I feel like you got to be in pretty good shape to be jumping off that bridge.
Yeah.
So, and I was also going to ask you, what feedback have you received from attendees, some of the participants and the vendors that have participated in Bridge Day about the event?
Yeah, we get a lot of messages on Facebook and a lot of comments on Facebook, especially leading up to the event, about how excited people are. And then afterwards, people are sharing their pictures, their videos, and all that stuff. And some of it's kind of going viral. So, that really tells us a lot that people are really, really into this event. The vendors, some of them have been coming for 20 years, so, they like it. But we do have quite a bit of new ones this year, just because I think with the national park designation, even though that was 4 years ago, it's still fresh in people's minds. So people are searching about West Virginia, and they're finding out about Bridge Day. And so we have vendors who've never done Bridge Day before who are getting into the event. So just seeing it grow, and the businesses, of course, they're all all their social media posts are talking about how Bridge Day is this weekend. Make sure to come and visit us and do this and do that. So I think all in all, it's a very positive experience for a lot of people.
I know it's a major day, and I know I definitely had a great time last year, so I'm sure it'll be awesome this year too. And I don't really know if there's a way that it could get any bigger and better, but do you have any hopes for the future on how you could expand on it, especially coming up on 50 years in a short 5 years?
Yeah, I don't know. We've talked about, extending it a little bit as far as the reach, to add more vendors and to give people more area to walk through. But again, everything's so kind of a well-oiled machine as it is. It's kind of hard to imagine, making changes like that. Last year and the year before, we had Camp Royal, who came and did their bicycle tricks and stuff, and that was a big draw. People really seemed to like that. They were scheduled to come this year. They called me yesterday and had to back out. As a mission type group, they are all in North Carolina, helping with flood relief and doing things like that. So we totally understand them not participating, and they're just as bummed about it as we are, but they've got bigger things to do. So that's kind of a setback for the different kind of stuff that you can see there, but it does open it up for more space and things like that. So I don't know if we would do anything bigger. You know, the base jumpers, they may try to do something. You know, every year they try to do something a little bit bigger. We do have not the West Virginia, but the U.S. Army Golden Knights. They will be doing a flag drop again this year. So, you know, they'll be flying one of their giant planes over, and they'll parachute out of the plane with the big United States flag, which we did last year, which was a very cool experience to see.
Awesome. That would be really nice to see.
Yeah.
Awesome. And well, I'm actually glad you brought that up. So, you know, since you've been working these Bridge Days and, you know, you've been such an integral part in them, what has been your favorite moment or memory so far through these events?
Yeah, growing up here, you know, I've gone to Bridge Day ever since I can remember, when I was 5 or 6, probably my first one. I've got a certificate somewhere that says that I walked across the bridge back in the 80s. And, you know, so I think honestly, the first year that we got to do it, the first year that I got to be a part of it, that's probably my best memory, just because, you know, now I can say that I was part of this event that brings so much entertainment to so many people, as well as boost the economy. So I think really just, you know, that first year doing it was probably one of the best memories, just actually getting to see what goes into it and actually being a part of helping it out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's like a full circle moment.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Like your first time walking across the bridge, and now you get to see what all happens. Yeah. And what message do you want to convey to potential attendees about the importance of this event and how much fun this event really is and why they should go?
If you've never been to Bridge Day, I mean, you're really missing out. The past 2 years we've lucked out with really beautiful weather. It looks like it's going to be beautiful again this year. So, you know, you really want to come out if you've never been, to see those base jumpers and to see the rappellers and just to see all the people, you know, especially if you live here. That's one of my other favorite parts about living here is, you know, it's kind of like a class reunion and a family reunion. You see people you haven't seen in years, and, you know, everybody's in a good mood and just enjoying everything that Bridge Day has to offer, from the food and the arts and crafts and the base jumpers and the rappellers again. And the fall foliage and the scenery. It's a beautiful area, and it's a beautiful place to be.
Yeah, and I got a really awesome picture when I was out there last year. It's actually my cover photo on my Facebook page, but it was just, my phone camera isn't even really that great. The scenery was so awesome, and it was just like a perfect moment that it just worked out. So, I mean, photographers as well, like if you love photography, that is an excellent place to go to take some pictures that people won't really see that often, because you only get that one day on the bridge. So I was also going to ask you about your really awesome shirt.
Yes, this is the official shirt of Bridge Day 20. This is the staff version. The one that we'll sell for retail will be, I think it's going to be a black collar, but it's our 45th anniversary shirt. It'll be for sale at the event, and then online and in our store, in our office, maybe 2 or 3 weeks after the event, once we get our shipment in. But yeah, this is every year we do a shirt, and this is the shirt for this year. I really like it.
Yeah, it is really nice. Yeah. And actually grabbed a hoodie from last year's event. It was really nice too. It seems like you all always have like a great design and things going. So who comes up with that actually?
So there's a company up north called Mountain Mindful. They design the shirt, and they come and they set up their booth and they sell it at the event. And it's they are very important about hiring people in recovery, people with disabilities. So it's kind of like a win-win. You know, we get a really awesome shirt. We get to support a company who is doing good in their community. And so they're the ones who are responsible they design it. We pick the collar and the choice we want. They give us a couple different options, and then they just take it from there and run with it.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. It seems like they really do a great job. So shout out to them as well. And I think the recovery aspect is super important. I mean, I know for their area, but for ours as well. So I think it's really great that you all can support in that way and kind of work together like that. And let's see, what else is there to talk about? Because I know we went through a lot. How has the event evolved kind of over the years? Because I know like we said, it's kind of hard for you to really expand or make that day bigger because, I mean, it's such a big day already. But how has it, changed since you first started?
Yeah, well, since I first started doing it, not much has changed. Again, we did bring in Camp Royal. And before that, there was like a pogo stick group that came in and did some pogo stick tricks. But Camp Royal really blew it up because they do big stuff. But the first bridge day, I think in 1980 was couple people parachuted from a plane and landed on the bridge, and maybe one or two people jumped from the bridge to down below. So you've gone from 1 to 2 people, and then a little bit more, to now we're over 300 to 350 base jumpers partaking in the event, and they're just we've added the catapult where they're just flinging them off the bridge. We've added the scissor lift, which adds another 45 to 50 feet, I think. So instead of jumping 876 feet, they're jumping 920 feet. So that's really where the growth has come, is just, and adding more vendors and just making it bigger and bigger in what the people get to see.
Awesome. It seems like the jumpers and, the people that really participate in it, it seems like they like to innovate. So that's where the new stuff really comes from for them. So it'll be interesting to see what they do this year as well.
Yeah.
So we're about a minute or so out, but before we go, do you mind plugging that contact information one more time?
Yeah, www.officialbridgeday.com. Again, that's where you can get all the information on the travel advisory, what you can and can't bring, the parking shuttle lots. There's a map on the website. Anything you need to know about Bridge Day, you can find on that website, or you can call the number. I don't know the 800 number off the top of my head, but it's on the screen.
Yeah, it should be at the bottom.
So you can call that number as well to get some information.
Awesome. Good stuff. Thank you so much for joining us this week. You come every time and you give us the best information about Bridge Day. So I'm guessing this show will be a one-stop shop for everything you need to know about Bridge Day, and also officialbridgeday.com. But you guys, thank you for joining us this Sunday. Be sure to tune in next Sunday where we speak to more local success stories and community leaders about everything important going on here in Southern West Virginia. Have a happy Sunday.